Something completely different, but about a big viral social media trend over the weekend. How did you find out over the weekend that you were dead? You see that?
No.
People didn't see you for a couple days. 1.3 million user engagements as of Saturday morning about your demise.
Really?
I didn't see that.
You know, I have heard, it's sort of crazy, but last week I did numerous news conferences, all successful. They went very well, like this is going very well. And then I didn't do any for 2 days, and they said, there must be something wrong with him. Biden wouldn't do them for months. You wouldn't see him. And nobody ever said there was ever anything wrong with him, and we know he wasn't in the greatest of shape. No, I heard that. I get reports. Now, you knew I did an interview that lasted for about an hour and a half with somebody, and everybody saw that was on one of your competitors.
Following a dramatic and unprecedented 4-day disappearance from public view, a sudden and uncharacteristic silence from a typically outspoken and ever-present leader, President Donald Trump was finally and unexpectedly seen on Saturday, effectively putting a definitive end to a period of intense online speculation, widespread media scrutiny, and mounting anxiety about his health and whereabouts. Welcome viewers to my channel. If you're new here, please subscribe, like my video and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next update. The president's seclusion had begun abruptly and without explanation after a seemingly routine cabinet meeting on Tuesday, a meeting that would later become a critical focal point of the ensuing rumors and a source of intense public interest. During this gathering, photographic evidence had captured a very noticeable and alarming detail, distinct and dark bruising on his right hand. This visual observation, combined with the concerning fact that the president had been consistently wearing heavy concealer on his hands for the past month in what appeared to be an attempt to hide something, served to amplify and validate a growing list of existing worries about his overall well-being. These public and private concerns had been circulating for some time, particularly after a July diagnosis of a circulation disorder was officially cited as the likely cause for his chronically swollen ankles, a condition that was colloquially and often derisively referred to as cankles. The American public had become accustomed to a steady and near constant stream of Trump's media appearances, from boisterous and energetic rallies to combative press conferences and impromptu remarks to the media. So, his sudden and complete silence was jarring, unsettling, and immediately raised serious questions, creating a palpable sense of unease in a vacuum of information. This was a marked and dramatic departure from his usual high-profile schedule, which was typically packed with multiple rallies, press conferences, and a continuous string of public events and photo opportunities. The complete lack of visibility, a stark contrast to his normal ubiquity and media saturation, led to widespread anxiety, frustration, and a dangerous vacuum of information that was quickly and inevitably filled with unfounded rumors, wild theories, and outright falsehoods. Unseen and unscheduled, the rise of online rumors and speculation. For the entire week, Trump's official public schedule showed an unprecedented and alarming blank slate. There were no public events listed for Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. This uncharacteristic quiet spell for a sitting and highly active president prompted a feverish and morbid death watch online, as concerned citizens, political opponents, and media outlets alike began to meticulously track his every move or, more accurately, his lack thereof. The speculation reached a fever pitch on Friday when journalist Laura Rosen shared a screenshot of the president's weekend schedule, which also showed no public engagements for Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, signaling a prolonged absence that had not been communicated to the public. The prolonged lack of sightings and the conspicuously empty schedule created a void that was quickly filled by a torrent of rumors and baseless theories spreading rapidly across social media platforms like Twitter and Truth Social. The public's concern was not entirely without a foundation, as political figures, especially those of advanced age, are often the subject of intense health-related scrutiny and speculation, a pattern that has been observed for decades. In this particular case, the combination of his recent physical ailments and the president's highly unusual and prolonged absence from the public eye made for a perfect storm of online intrigue and a fertile ground for conspiracy theories. The hashtag #WhereIsTrump began trending, with users posting a complex mix of genuine concern for his well-being, humorous memes that poked fun at the situation, and outright conspiracy theories that spread like wildfire, a clear indicator of the public's heightened state of alarm. A citing and unfolding political maneuvering. The intense speculation and public anxiety finally began to subside on Saturday morning when President Trump was spotted by a small group of reporters on his way to a golf outing, a common activity for him. Photographers captured definitive images of him at Trump National Golf Club in Sterling, Virginia, dressed in a black windbreaker and his signature red, "Make America Great Again" hat. He was seen alongside his grandson, Spencer Trump, and appeared to be in remarkably good spirits, seemingly unfazed by the public uproar and media storm he had inadvertently caused. The sighting served as a definitive answer to the swirling rumors and brought a palpable sense of relief to his supporters, who had grown increasingly worried and concerned. However, the political fallout from his mysterious absence had already begun to take shape and was a cause for concern in and of itself. Vice President J.D. Vance had inadvertently added significant fuel to the fire during a recent and high-profile television interview. While attempting to reassure the public that Trump was in incredibly good health, Vance also made a startling statement that was widely interpreted as an acknowledgement of the prevailing health concerns. He stated that he was ready to step into the role of president if needed, saying, "If, God forbid, there's a terrible tragedy, I can't think of better on-the-job training than what I've gotten over the last 200 days." This comment, despite its attempted context as a gesture of readiness and reassurance to the American people, was widely and immediately interpreted as a direct acknowledgement of the health-related anxieties and a clear sign that the White House was preparing for the worst-case scenario. Adding yet another complex and intriguing layer to the political drama, conservative commentator Rick Wilson suggested that Vance's public statement was not a misstep but a calculated and strategic move. Wilson claimed that rumors from the Trumpverse indicated Vance was actively positioning himself in the MAGA Hunger Games, a metaphorical and ruthless contest to become Trump's eventual successor and heir apparent to the populist movement he created. This narrative suggested that the vice president was not merely offering reassurance but was, in fact, subtly and shrewdly laying the groundwork for a future leadership bid, should the opportunity arise from the president's failing health. A president's digital presence amidst his physical absence, a strategic lifeline. Despite being physically out of the public eye and avoiding all in-person media, President Trump remained highly active on his social media platform, Truth Social, a digital space he controls and where his words are not filtered by traditional media. Throughout his absence, he continued to post updates and provide his characteristic commentary, demonstrating that his communication with his base was far from silenced. One notable post on Friday evening was a vehement and immediate response to a recent appeals court ruling. The court had declared many of his tariffs illegal, a decision that Trump vehemently rejected and immediately challenged. He wrote, "All tariffs are still in effect," a defiant message that underscored his position on the matter and assured his supporters that his policies remained firmly in place and would not be easily overturned. He also added a pledge that the United States of America will win in the end, a statement that aligned perfectly with his characteristic nationalistic rhetoric and served to rally his supporters and reinforce his image as a strong leader. In addition to his robust social media activity, it was also reported that Trump had given an exclusive interview to the Daily Caller's Reagan Reese on Friday, with the interview scheduled for release over the weekend. This provided further irrefutable proof that, despite not being seen in person, the president was still very much engaged in his duties and media outreach. His continued and highly visible digital presence served as a crucial lifeline to his base, preventing the rumor mill from completely dominating the narrative and providing a consistent stream of information directly from the source. It demonstrated a strategic and modern use of technology to maintain a strong connection with the public even when a physical appearance was not possible or, perhaps, not desired, a move that proved to be a masterful piece of political strategy.